Welcome back to CCRPG. We return to our pilots in the midst of a gathering, a soiree, a little get-together of all of the various members taking part in Project Rebirth. Here are the committee members, the other competitors that they're competing against, and a bunch of mid-level to high-level participants in Project Rebirth, whether they be contractors for transport, factory work, all the various things that kind of make the project come together. As the pilots have been here, they have slowly found out more and more about, other teams, the council members themselves, what's going on with the project, and the state of things on E2705. When we last left off, Mr. Astro Jamin, under the auspices of Xander Nova,
that's right,
had just been slipped something by Effic Desaria.
I've been roofied.
She passed him something secretly as part of a handshake in a fake greeting that he slipped into his pocket. He has not yet had time to examine what that thing is, but allusions had been made that it should be checked out tonight after the ball that they're at right now. Yes, as we continue on and kind of where we left off things before, I'd like to know where we find all the pilots currently.
I think, maybe like after we make our rounds talking to some people, at least Astro will take a little break, sit down at his table, and just take in some of the hors d'oeuvres or appetizers. You're just talking to oh my gosh, Effic. I forgot her name for a second. And he's trying to see what he makes of it. And if he can sort of like under the table, he's going to look at what it was that she slipped him. Because he just put it in his pocket without even looking at it.
Astro, as you take a look discreetly at what you had been given, it seems to be some sort of chip to be inserted into a digital device of some sort.
That's what I expected. Probably what he felt in his hand. He'll just pocket it again for use later.
All right.
And sip his drink.
Astro, since you're sitting by yourself, someone who's looking to mingle a little bit sits down at the table with you, and just a very happy to see you person sits down right next to you in a chair, wearing pink and red stripes, red hair that's curled at the end,
Smiles.
and just, he's so smiley.
I'll say, oh, hello.
You looked a little lonely all over here by yourself.
Just taking a break.
A break from what?
Oh, socializing.
Oh, why do you need to take a break? Everyone here's so nice.
They are, there's all kinds here, I'll have to say. Everyone's interesting to talk to.
Who have you talked to who's interesting so far, other than me?
I don't think there's anyone more interesting than you, but I did meet one of your compatriots. Xander. I'm Xander. Anders.
Oh. Anders certainly is imperious.
Yeah, that's a good word to describe him.
He laughs to himself when he says this, like he just made a joke. But you're not sure you get the punchline.
Yeah, I don't really, but he's different from you.
I'm interested in you, Xander Nova.
You seem interested in a lot of people.
There's a lot to be interested in.
What makes me so interesting?
Well, when you came out, you seem to have done very well in your performance.
You did too. In fact, better than us.
It makes me very interested in seeing what would happen if we put on a performance together.
What kind of performance?
One that we're both skilled in, probably.
I'm sure we would turn a lot of heads.
I'm sure we would. Perhaps we can find a moment to find each other on opposite sides of a battlefield sometime. I'm sure it would be loads of fun.
Fun? Maybe not the word I would describe, but it would be something, all right.
What do you make of Share Seal?
Share Seal's the number one team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, I don't know. I haven't got a chance to talk to them yet. They seem very...
I've tried. They're so standoffish. I'd love to get my hands on them.
What do you mean, get your hands on them?
You know, getting to know them.
Yeah, they did seem a little reserved, I noticed from a distance. Very professional. I guess they seem confident in their chances at getting a spot in contest, and they don't feel the need to fraternize.
If they're so confident, I'd love to see what their faces look like in battle. I wonder if they have that same kind of faraway look to them, or if they give in to their emotions as well.
Hard to say.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Or we might never find out.
He stands up, and as he goes, he pats you on the shoulder and says, "Oh, there's always time to find out one way or another."
Before you go, Smiles, I bet you have some thoughts about that transmission today.
There was so much raw emotion in it. It was flawless, especially the finale.
What do you mean by the finale?
He leans down at you, gets real close, and then just goes, boom, in your face.
It says boom?
And then he laughs. He says boom.
Oh, boom. Okay.
Like an explosion.
Astro will definitely flinch a little bit against his...
You flinch, and he just laughs his head off. It's always good to see you, Nova.
Likewise.
And he smiles, turns away, and walks off towards the bar.
Whew. Astro kind of wipes his brow. Always unsettling to talk to that one.
All right, what about the other three of you? Where are you guys at?
I said I was going to talk to the scholars, so I'll do that.
All right. So you find the Dire Scholars. It looks like they had just grouped back up after they were talking with... actually, they were talking with a few of the other teams. You notice that a couple of them get back from talking with Prismalo, and another couple of them get back from talking with the Cane Vagrants. And they kind of gather up, and you approach. It is all four of them there.
I'll walk up and go, "Well, I owe you guys a drink. You want me to get you anything?"
Jace smiles and goes, "Yeah, at an open bar? I guess it's on you, huh?"
Suppose I'm not getting out of it that easy, huh?
Sherry smiles and punches Jace in the shoulder and goes, "Don't listen to him. It's nothing. sometimes you share drinks with people, but yeah, come join us for a second. We're just enjoying the night.
Yeah. Did you guys learn anything good?
Gurr kind of like leans back and crosses his arms and just kind of like looks into the distance, kind of like not saying anything. And Jace goes, don't mind him. He just isn't a fan that Prismalo kind of gave him a bit of a tongue lashing.
Oh? Aren't they in the bottom spot right now?
And Gurr goes, yeah, you'd think they'd be more humble. And Jace goes, it can't be their fault that they talked circles around you, bud.
We all have things we're good at. There's a reason I'm not talking to the counselors right now.
Sure, he goes, yeah, so it looks like you got your face who was going around there. I saw him, glad-handing a few of them earlier today.
Times like this make me really thankful that he's around.
Well, we all have to have someone who's good at talking to people. Unfortunately, we're all about average at it, so we'll see how things go.
Earnestly, I'll just say best of luck to you.
Thanks. No, we've actually, we've taken the opportunity to get to know the other teams a little bit better.
Heard of some of them. Only a few, though. You guys and Prismalo and Sure are the main ones that we don't know about.
Well, there's not a lot to know about us, truthfully. We do jobs. We get fed. We do more jobs. That's about it. But I'll tell you what, we found out some stuff about Alabast today.
Well, what's that?
Well, I'm sure everyone gets weird vibes from them. We were able to confirm, by talking with a few contacts of ours, they used to be part of the Free Space Pact. You know that pirate group that operates out on the periphery?
Sure.
Apparently, they turn state's evidence on other people in the pact to get in good with the corpse and to leave them behind.
Ugh, I cringe.
Yeah, right? Don't want them watching my back.
They must really be betting on this then. They're desperate. If they don't go with one of these corp jobs, they're going to be back out where all the pirates are.
Jay shrugs and goes, yeah, well, they seem rough and tumble enough. I'm sure that'll suit them. Plus, there's a lot of independent operators out that way. They wouldn't have to go with the pirates. I don't know how much, we know we talked about you guys working out in the periphery, but we've gotten some job offers out there from some unsavory types. I'm sure people like them would do fine.
I suppose. I've heard rumors about the pirates and hunting down people that cross them, but, well, good luck to them. They probably won't make it, so...
Lonnie pipes up and goes, honestly, I'm more worried about the uncanny folk.
It's nothing
Uncanny
a gun
ravine.
Nothing a gun won't fix at some point.
I don't know. Well, I don't like to make this too public, but I have some contacts in the FFC. They're wanted on like 12 planets.
Only 12 with the way they act.
Well, they're here in the state now, but apparently back in the FFC, they have crimes for murder, conspiracy, grand larceny all over the place. I don't know why they're here now, and I don't know how they got here, but every single one of them I've talked to has been a basket case.
Like, more so.
Well, I'm sure you've met Smiles. I watched him talking to your buddy over there, but
actually
the other ones are just as weird.
I've heard stories of the Smiley one from them, but I haven't talked to him yet, and I plan to keep it that way if I can.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it if I were you.
What, you guys got any plans if things don't work out here?
Sherry thinks a little bit. I mean, we were kind of betting on this, but with the way things are going, maybe not. We have some good relationships with some like guard detail things that we can fall back on, but honestly, they don't make a lot of money unless you have some collective bargaining arrangement, and we're not part of a bigger organization like the Cane Vagrants or something like that the Shep 7 people do. So we'd be out there working for the basically trying to make the lowest bid we could just to get a job. So she crosses her fingers like in a statement of like, look, I'm crossing my fingers, like, here's hoping we get through this.
Sounds like you could use a shout out from employers that I know.
No, you got people hiring.
Well, only an issue if you lose, I suppose. But if something doesn't work out, we can talk. You've been good.
Hey, well, don't lose our contact information. We might be keeping you up on that then.
Sure. Just, keep in mind that we're, friendly.
Hey, we don't have any problem with people who don't have a problem with us, so.
And lastly, did you guys look into the communications at all?
We didn't really want to talk about it much. We knew it was going to be a big thing. A lot of the mid-level bureaucrats seem to want to chat about it, but they don't really know shit about what's going on. If I had to guess, it seems real to me from a few of the rumors I heard about what's going on here before we got here. But probably only the committee members really know what's going on with it.
Well, personal opinion, I'm convinced that it's real, but I just don't know if it's part of this or not, so.
Yeah, we had considered whether or not how we dealt with this information was going to be important, so we've just kind of stayed hush-hush about it.
We'll see. Maybe we'll get some more insight before the night is done on some of it, People like to talk.
People do like to talk. Hey, and they're only getting drunker as the night goes on.
I raise up my glass a little bit. Join them, especially if that smiley one gets over here.
I don't want to find out what he looks like drunk. He was passing some guy earlier. Some little short guy looked really weird. They bumped into each other. I was afraid he was going to kill him.
Short guy? You mean the one that wore that weird tangly suit?
Oh, yeah. He still has all kinds of weird headgear on, but he's actually wearing a suit. She motions over to one of the tables. It's the guy who was wearing the fiber optic ghillie suit. Now he's wearing what looks like almost like a Geordie LaForge visor over his eyes. He has a set of headphones on, like stereo surround sound headphones on with a little microphone that comes out from the side to the front of his mouth, and he has a handkerchief pulled over up to cover his mouth, but otherwise he's wearing a suit.
Nice.
Strange. But when they passed, did they do anything, interact?
Yeah, it looked like the little guy was telling him off for bumping into him, and the Smiles guy made a move. I didn't even see fully what happened, but the little guy just shut up and ran away.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you all to it. You know where to find me.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up. We'll see about talking to the more important people now. Ugh.
I want to meet with Dyne really quick, if I can.
Sure.
Yeah, hey, Dyne, did you talk to your short friends at all?
No.
You gonna?
I don't really plan on it.
Well, if you do, apparently he had a run-in with the creepy guy from Uncanny Valley, so it struck the scholars as a bit odd. So
Fantastic. Well, once I hit up this next group I kind of thumb over my shoulder at like a group of like contractors and middle managers and whatnot, I'll see if I can go talk to them.
you have good luck with that.
Yes. And I say it in like the most deadpan voice, fantastic conversation. I take like a big sip of my drink and then just walk over into the group.
All right. And before we get to that, Dyne, I want to know what Evelene has been up to.
Evelene has decided to change strategies. She has determined that she is bad at these at prompting people for questions. So instead, she's going to sort of mingle with the existing groups and see if she can collect any information from earshot. See if there's anything being discussed that's interesting or unknown.
Just kind of lose yourself in various crowds and see if you can overhear things.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. I'd like a pilot check for that, please.
Ooh, I'm not even sure what that would be. Let's see. Actually, word on the street seems right. I'm getting gossip. News.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let you do that. You know how to, like, keep your head down and listen to people talk. So I'll say word on the street works here. It says, what you get depends on what streets you're getting word from. High society, low society, hearsay. So this is just you're not going to be able to prompt what you get. It'll just be whatever they're talking about.
Yep, that's what I expected. Okay, roll. I rolled a 10.
All right, with a 10, Evelene, you are getting in and around these groups. It does take you a little bit, but you start to overhear a few things that people are talking about. Very specifically, you hear rumor of two things. They start talking about like the people in charge a little bit. The first thing you hear is apparently Opie Orihart is no longer here. One of them brings up basically he was in a conversation with Opie and some other people earlier tonight, and something happened. Opie had to take a call and very urgently dismissed himself from the conversation and left. Opie Orihart is no longer at this event.
Interesting.
So they kind of talk about that for a little while. You get a lot of people like kind of praising his blue collar work ethic. You get a lot of people, talking about how he's very brusque but businesslike. Like a lot of people being like, "Oh yeah, he's a good boss, isn't he?" It's like, "I agree, he's a good boss." You know what I mean? Kind of like even though the boss isn't around, they want to say nice things about him in case they get ratted out by their competitors. But another thing that has been circulating around the groups is people talking about Ethic in a way that is not quite derogatory so much it is rumor mongery. There's a lot of rumors kind of circulating about Ethic amongst these middle manager people. I can't believe, what her family was involved in. I can't, why is a disgraced member of the nobility even here? Oh, I heard she does a lot of good work. And it's like, oh, I'm sure that she has people that does that for her. There's a lot of like weird conversation surrounding Ethic that you catch from these people.
That's strange. Okay. And we haven't compared notes yet, so I don't know what other people have heard about her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because Evelene wouldn't know that Dyne had heard something about Ethic having her family killed off. Yeah.
It is. I think Evelyne's going to note it is odd, At least because it seems like none of the other board members are getting this kind of scrutiny or attention in terms of rumor.
Most of the other things are just like Opie left. And the people who talk about Doc Grosser or Nosla Anchor don't say anything meaningful. So you don't really get anything there.
Okay. That works. I'll just keep that up for a bit until, I guess, something happens that makes us sit down.
Sure. And Dyne, you were headed over somewhere?
Yeah, I just kind of like thumbed over at like another group of contractors or middle managers or whatever, and just kind of walked over and started talking with them.
What's your goal?
So my goal, like in the first group, I was very neutral and I didn't get as much. So this time I'm going to be a little bit more agreeable and try to get a little bit more out of them from, like, I know that like Evelene got some gossip. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more gossip out of them that may be helpful, I guess. A little bit more about the our 5 benefactors or potential benefactors, I guess.
Okay. How do you prompt them?
Oh man.
Like what direction do you prod them in?
So I'm going to assume that Dyne has probably heard that Opie left, so he would begin there, I guess.
Okay.
Like, man, I just heard that Opie left. What happened? Did anyone know?
Oh, I'm sure it must have been very important. He's a sort that likes to keep his obligations. If there was something drawing him away from here, it must have simply been higher priority. One of the other one goes, yes, I'm certain of it. I did hear that there are some things going on right now that require some additional attention. Go ahead and make me a pilot check to see if you can get these people to talk more directly about what they think about Opie and what he might be doing.
Okay. I don't have anything as before, so it's just be a straight 1d20.
All right.
4.
Oh man.
It just goes. I mean, Dyne is not the people person, so you know.
It's unfortunate. It's just the talking in circles thing again. It's like they don't want to say anything that could implicate them or that anyone could point directly back to them. So people will kind of obliquely reference things other people have already said.
Okay.
But that just leads to a bunch of people agreeing with each other that they've said the things they've already said. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yes, it must have been very important, says another person. Is like, I hear he handles very important things all the time. You know what I mean? It's like very useless information.
Sounds important.
One might say he's maybe one of the most important people here.
Yes, he's at least in the top 5 most important people here. Maybe
of the
even
important
number 1,
people here, he's one of them.
Oh God.
And eventually, I'm just, as this goes in circles for a while, I'm going to say, well, thank you for the discussion, gentlemen. I think I'm going to go look at my empty drink, refill my drink, and I'll walk around and look for Dwarf Elbast.
Yeah. You do see their group. Weirdly, 2 of them are at the table with the person as Urist. Urist is sitting at the table. He has one arm propped up on the table, like he's leaning his arm on the table, and one arm over the back of his chair, almost like he's lounging at the table. There's something odd about him, and it doesn't quite register for you, but there are 3 of them at the Dwarf Elboss table right now.
I'll just kind of walk over. I'll be like, hey guys, just making the rounds, talking with the other teams, other participants.
Urist, who's the one who stands out the most, sitting at the table, goes, yeah, we tried talking to the other teams too, and they can be a bit of some of them are shits.
Yeah, well, I agree.
The one of the people at the table, like looks at him, like, calm down, and then looks back to you and goes, hi, I'm Edom. good to meet you. What team are you from?
I'm part of the Murder of Crows.
You did pretty well from the standings, I take it.
Well, thank you. We certainly try our best.
The other person at the table looks up at you and goes, "Hi, my name's Cullet. You're welcome to grab a seat if you'd like, but we don't really have a lot to say. Is there anything you wanted?" You note that Urist hasn't moved at all. Like, the other people, like, fidget and move. There's something off about Urist's body language, who only talked at the beginning. That's odd to you.
No. Just going around, talking to the other people. Kind of freaked out about that red-haired smiling dude. Kind of reminds me of one of the planets had a mascot that had a clown smiled. Really gave me the creeps. That guy kind of reminds me of that.
Urist goes, "Yeah, he's a menace. I don't even know why he's here." He moves his shoulders a little bit to like face you more directly, and his hand that was like leaned over the back of his chair like kind of slumps off of the chair, and he like looks at it oddly, and he goes, "Ooh," and he yawns a little bit, and you discreetly notice the woman sitting next to him puts his arm back where it was.
Can I make like I almost want to say like a percent, but like as a medical professional, can I glance to see what I think had happened?
I think you should make a spot check, and you'll get accuracy because you're a medical professional.
Okay. Accurate. 28.
Ooh.
Well,
Nice.
that's the other direction from your previous rolls.
Yes.
It's like his arms aren't working. He hasn't moved his arms. Like, he's sitting in a very specific way, so his arms are like posed in a way. But as soon as he moved his torso, his arm slumped, and it took someone else to put his arm back where it was.
Okay. I'm gonna see this, smile, and then as I kind of leave the table, I'll like put down my drink like with a napkin under it, and I'm gonna put. I feel like Dyne would be prepared. I'm going to leave like a patch under my drink, making it obvious for them, but not so obvious for everyone else. I go, "Have a good night, gentlemen," as I leave.
You like, as you set it down, you leave the part towards them exposed a little bit longer as you lay it down.
Yeah.
You watch as you walk away, they look amongst themselves, and you see them discreetly like slide the like Medigel basically under the thing aside, and you see them like kind of put their heads together a little bit and discuss a little bit, and you see discreetly as the other woman like rolls up one of his like sleeves and like slaps the Medigel patch to his arm.
And then the rest of the night, I'll kind of glance over on occasion just to see if the guy is moving his arm again.
Yes, it does seem like it eventually works, but it takes like a good 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't know how, but this guy got his arms paralyzed.
Like here?
Fantastic. Yep, that's all I've got.
All right.
Didn't expect to be using my my medical patch.
Your medical expertise here. As you guys are kind of like chilling and whatnot, eventually someone you all recognize will get in the front of the room, and it is Losamar, and she kind of like tings her glass with a spoon a little bit to get everyone's attention. He goes, "Thank you everyone for coming. I just want to say that very soon we will be serving meals. We have a variety of things in the back, so a waiter will be around to ask you what you would like. You have 3 choices. The waiter will explain them to you, and then meals will be pulled out. The bar will be closed during dinner service, and then it will open right back up again afterwards, so don't you worry. Libations will be readily available again soon. But please, we ask you all to take your seats at your assigned tables. Thank you.
All right.
All right,
Settle
everyone
back.
kind of like moves back in and around to get back to their normal tables. I assume you all get back together at your table.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get one last drink before the bar closes.
Yeah, absolutely. You're the kind of person who, as soon as she was like, the bar will be closing, you got in line at the bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get Evelene here. You get her. You
Yeah.
get her.
Yeah, so the waiters are starting to like work their way around the thing to talk to every table about what they're getting. But for a moment or two, you guys are just all gathered back together at your table.
I'll lean into everyone and say quietly, I got something from Efik. As soon as this party's over, we need to head back and see what she gave me.
Well, I didn't get much other than rumors from contractors and middle management, but apparently Smiles somehow managed to paralyze the arms of a dwarf Elbast friend.
That's concerning. I
Avoid physical contact.
Yeah, I just had a little chat with Smiles earlier. He's definitely psychotic.
All right. Avoid him in a dark alley. Okay.
How about just avoid him entirely?
Yeah.
What do other people seem to make of this, the transmission hijacking earlier today? I think that it might be real, and the contest didn't plan for it, but anything could be possible.
Middle management contractors pretty much didn't know much. Most of what I got could be summed up as, the Big Five would know more.
It does seem like Prisma Low might end up working with them if this whole contest doesn't pan out. Like, they're already looking for the next opportunity, and this might be it for them.
Really? That could make us potential allies with them in the future. So probably don't want to burn bridges with them.
I mean, I don't think they like any of us, so I wouldn't necessarily say they'd be willing for a partnership.
They're probably... Do they strike you as believers in the cause, or just mercenaries looking to get a job where they can? I guess the fact that they're in this contest already means they're opportunistic.
I think they're more in it for the money, Astro or Xander. Watch that comes to bite me in the future.
Yeah, careful there.
From what I've heard, they've been kind of short with all the other Lancer crews they've interacted with them. So
yeah, the scholars mentioned much the same. When I talked to them, if what they say is to be believed, then they're going to be down on their luck after if they don't get a job here. They don't really seem to have much more information beyond that, or just weren't saying it.
Interesting. Like I said, Efik had some information for me. Slipped me a data chip. We'll have to check it out as soon as we are dismissed from this party. In the meantime, continue playing it cool. Efik did kind of say to me that it's probably best that we blend in well, but not make any waves at this point. sort of.
Yeah. Sounds like that's what we've been doing so far, so
Yeah.
Yes.
more
Keep
of the
on-
same.
Stay
keep
the
on
course.
keeping on.
Um,
Still have a few. Still need to talk to Shep 7, and kiss up to some of the other judges.
Well,
before the night's
you may have
over.
lost your chance with Opie. He's already gone for the night.
I sort of talked to him. Not really. I was introduced myself to him and that guy from Uncanny Valley, the big guy in the military dress outfit.
you mean Ravine?
Anders, yeah. He kind of stole him away and talked to him for a little bit. Which I didn't mind because it gave me time to talk with Nazla, who is the head of Unfolding. And I think I could say she's interested in us and very intrigued to see what we can do.
Well,
Did you have
We
a
might-
chance to
Good.
talk to your one friend yet? You know, the one you got the dirt on?
Not yet. I plan to do that after dinner. But I think it may be too early to play that card. Just see where he's at. Talk to him, make myself known.
You guys start to overhear nearby one of the waiters who has gone over to a table seems to be having problems with the table they're dealing with. You glance over, and maybe 2 tables away from you, you see the assembled members of Uncanny Ravine. The
Should have guessed.
waiter isn't even talking to Smiles or Anders, but one of the other 2 people that you haven't met yet. At this ostensibly kind of, dress up ball, this soiree of sorts, she is wearing a lab coat and glasses over a sweater and scrub pants. She has a pocket protector with a variety of pens in it and is seated at the table with a clipboard. As the waiter is trying to talk to her, you see her talking back to the waiter and writing things down on the clipboard. The waiter is getting visibly flustered. Smiles, who's seated, on the other side of the table, is laughing. Anders is just sitting upright in his chair, staring at this waiter like he's the scum of the earth. And the other person at the Uncanny Ravine table that you haven't met yet, she is wearing like khaki clothing with all kinds of pockets and like extra like belts and stuff like that, and has like a safari hat on. And she's like leaning in on one elbow, like looking over the table like predatorily at this man.
I'll sit.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what you see.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like they're wearing Halloween costumes.
'Tis
how
the season.
appropriate.
Yeah.
Eventually, the person in the lab coat stands up from the table, steps around to see what the waiter has on his little thing that he's taking notes on, takes it from him, writes something down, and then hands it back to the waiter, and then she sits down. The waiter, visibly thrown off, just doesn't know what to say and just walks to the next table.
I really wonder why they're here. I hear this group has a reputation, and are fugitives in some places. It almost seems like this contest, trying to win some contract with one of these corps seems too straight and narrow for them,
Are you thinking that they might be here for some other reason then?
I don't know. It just seems like wherever they go, chaos follows.
I mean, let's
I
be
would believe it.
fair. We're here for a secondary reason too, so I would
Hey,
assume that.
did everyone watch the tables really closely to make sure no one placed anything on them?
What do you mean?
Recording
I
device
give
on
Evelyn
or
a
under.
look.
Oh, sorry.
I just think our conversation doesn't need to be much more than it needs to be right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just here to win our contract and get in good with higher ups.
Get paid.
Anyway, where's that waiter?
And it's the flustered waiter who comes over to your table. Hello. He seems nervous. He went from that table to a table of like contractors and now is coming to your table. You can tell he's nervous to come to another contestant table because of the bad experience he just had with the uncanny ravine. He comes over to your table. He's like, hello, everyone. I will be telling you what the various specials of tonight are. First, may I ask, are there any food allergies?
I
Not
don't
me.
think we have any.
Nope.
Excellent. Well then, tonight there are 3 meals being prepared. We are allowed to make minor alterations to them, and please, it is of no problem for any of the minor alterations. So please feel free to let me know if anything needs to be done additional to them. First, we have a steak. It will come with potatoes and some collard greens. Next, we have a pasta dish. It is gnocchi with hot sausage in a red meat sauce. And third is a fish meal. The fish is a prepared halibut. It will come with a boat of butter. And on the side will be a small bed of oyster chowder.
Oh, the steak for me, please.
And how would you like that prepared?
Rare.
Rare. Understood. And you?
I'll take the pasta dish, please.
Yes. Thank you. What kind of bread would you like with that?
What do you have available?
We have rye. We have pumpernickel. We have an Italian loaf. We have some sprouted grain.
You know, pumpernickel sounds good.
Excellent. And you?
I'll just get the fish.
Yes. And for your fish, do you want the head on or removed?
I'll take it off.
Understood. And you?
The steak, medium rare. What did the crazy people order from you? Why was that looked rough?
Oh, looks around like he shouldn't be talking about it. I told them that they were allowed to make minor alterations, and the lady simply had trouble understanding what a minor alteration meant.
I'm guessing they wanted some major alterations.
It was more like they wanted to know exactly what the limit of a minor alteration was, and was not satisfied until she asked me a bunch of questions about what constitutes a minor versus a major alteration.
Damn, your job sucks.
Yeah, sorry you had to go through that.
He smiles a little bit and he goes, it's okay, but thank you.
By all accounts, they are like that with everyone. Very strange.
Yeah, don't take it personally. We'll shoot him at some point if we ever get the chance to here for you. How about that?
Well, not on my account, I hope. All right. Well, I will get your orders in. Happy dining.
Do we have to pay for this food?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say we should tip him, but it feels weird to tip. Well, you can still tip a waiter even if you don't pay the check, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just slip him a few bucks.
Yeah, let's tip him later.
Just slip him the data
We're not
chip,
paying anything.
you know.
20% of 0 is 0.
But if we give him anything, it's an infinite tip.
I don't like setting that precedence for the future.
Whatever you say, Mr. Pink.
All right. Well, eventually, they do come back with your meals. Despite the trouble they caused, it does look like Uncanny Ravine is served a relatively normal set of meals, except all of them got rare steak. Like every one of them at the table got the exact same meal as each other.
Yeah.
I
look at my rare steak like, damn.
But other than that, they got served a normal meal, so you're not sure what the big issue was. But yeah, you all get your food. In terms of food, I would say it's well made. So if you're the type of person who enjoys a well-made meal, these are good meals.
Definitely. Nom nom nom.
That's a good
eventually
fish.
The food service is over. You're allowed to just kind of like leave your stuff at the table. They announce that the bar is opening back up, and then people, as they finish eating and kind of like finish with what they're doing, people, not in a rush, but in like, small groups of people start getting up and getting drinks and going to talk to people.
While we're eating, can I take a moment to look for a recording device on the table discreetly?
Yes, absolutely. Make a pilot check, please.
Okie dokie. Stay cool?
Not in this situation.
Investigate. How about that?
Yes. Investigate would be as if you're really like giving the table a once over. That would involve like, finding time to like lift up the skirt of the table and like lifting up. Yeah. It would be more like a spot check if you wanted to like discreetly investigate. Investigate is like, I'm turning things on this table upside down looking for stuff.
Sure.
Like,
okay.
oops, I dropped my fork. Take a look under the table.
Yeah.
But you can always just make a normal ass pilot check. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. 22.
You are reasonably certain there are no listening or recording devices at this table. You see nothing that could like reasonably hide them. The few places that you're like, well, that could be, you find a reason to like, tap it with your foot or like brush over it with your hands while you're like moving plates around the table. As far as you're aware, there is nothing here that could be a listening device.
Okay. I'll just mention, I did do a once over. It doesn't look like anything's here, but we should still probably be discreet. I'll whisper to everyone.
Understood. All right, well, now that dinner portion is over, I still have some more people to talk to. Let's seek out Shep 7.
Absolutely. Shep 7, having mostly finished their meal, Dolly and Bingo are done. Gios is taking a little bit longer to finish up his meal. But they're kind of like sitting companionably with him as he's finishing up. The reason it seems he's taking longer to finish his meal is because while he's eating, he can't stop telling jokes and telling stories to the other two people. As you come over, Dolly kind of like waves at you and stands up to come meet you. Hey, she has to think for a second.
Xander.
Yeah. Hey, Xander, how you doing?
Good. It's nice to be able to talk to people who know me better.
Yeah. Well, with when you're in the circus, sometimes you have to talk to the clowns, huh?
That expression is more literal than you realize. I just talked to that guy Smiles. He's freaky.
Yeah, I told you he was trouble.
Yeah. Seems like their group gave the poor waiter a heart attack.
Yeah, well, shitty people. What's she gonna do?
So, how are you guys hanging in there?
We'd be better if we did as good as you guys did on that first round.
I'm sure things will perk up.
Hey,
We
well,
got-
don't think I'm admitting defeat to you yet. Just because we had to go first, we did pretty good.
I would say so. I don't know we would do any better going first. We had a little time to get ourselves ready, so...
Really, I'm concerned about the people who did worse than us. They had time to prepare at least.
Exactly. No excuses there. So I wanted to ask you, what do you guys think of that transmission earlier today?
At this point, Bingo and Gios have come over as well to kind of like say hi to you, kind of like nod at you.
Yeah.
Bingo just kind of like goes by, and she's like going to get a drink as she just like pats Dolly on the back on her way past. So Gios just stays with you two. And Gios is like, yeah, we looked into it, got to figure out what's going on around here, but we've only brought it up to like 1 or 2 people so far.
What did you find when you looked into it?
Well, I mean, it sounds like suppression stuff. It sounds like this thing got out we didn't want to get out. Let's downplay it a little bit. I feel like there's some raw nerves about what's going on there going around.
Some of us were wondering if this was all a setup. It was all staged, like a elaborate psyops,
Dally kind of like puts her hand on her head like, oh, man, we should have thought of that. Dolly looks at Gios. Gios looks back at her and shrugs and goes, Dolly looks back and he's like, listen, I don't think that's what's going on, but that's smart. We should have thought of that. Well, water under the bridge now.
I'm not sure it is either, though. Regardless, I'm sure the judges are probably interested to see how we handle this situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to call it like I see it. If this is like really what's going on here, getting these contracts might be signing up to do some like population suppression and stuff.
It might be.
You cool with that still? We've had our doubts.
We're evaluating if we're put in a position where we're doing more harm than good, we may bow out.
Listen, Astro, I tell you this because we liked working with you. You seem like a nice guy. Gios elbows her as she's talking. Right, Xander, sorry.
It's okay. Just make sure you're not too loud.
Right. Listen, we like you. You're a nice guy. It's very obvious you're a nice guy, but sometimes to get jobs in this business, you gotta do dirt. And there's some people who are okay with that, and you can put that in part of their mind, and some people who can't. And I remember what you went through with those Terratella folk. I don't know if you're that kind of guy.
I'll lean in close and say, listen, there's not too much I could say right now, but if we get this contract, it may open up doors for us. And maybe we can bring you along if you're interested.
All right, listen. I'm willing to, let you do what you need to do. Just know, if you need to talk to someone, get a hold of us.
Same to you. I will certainly take you up on that, I'm sure.
All right, well, I need to go track down this Ethic lady and see if I can talk to her about shipping. Of all the people I've seen here that are on the council, she's the only one who might appreciate the kind of work we do, so I'm going to see if I can get in good with her.
I think you do well. More than any other person, if you impress her, I think that may pay out for you in the end.
She shrugs and goes, well, I mean, when you make your bread and butter defending convoys, gotta hope the person who's in charge of logistics knows how much that means. So, we're about to go find out.
All right, good luck.
She nods at you.
We'll keep
All right,
in
come on,
touch.
Gios. You're the one with the sense of humor. Let's go. All right, and they head off to go track down Effic.
Alrighty. Once they do that, I don't know if we want to switch to someone else, but I do also want to see if I can find Governor Grime.
Oh, absolutely. We can come back to that.
Okay.
I just want to know if any other people have things they want to do just after dinner ends, because this is kind of like a shifting of like everyone's separated back to their own little groups and then they're coming back together again. So if any of the other of you want to like jump into a thing with people probably are not too preoccupied yet if you want to get in with them soon.
I don't have anything other than just eavesdropping.
I'll make myself available, like probably alone, either at the bar or table. So if somebody wants to approach me, they can. But I don't.
Okay.
I don't have anyone else that I'm looking out for. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Evelene, you said you're just like keeping an ear out to see what you can find out.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Dyne?
I'm pretty much in the same situation as Steve. Like,
Okay.
I've made the rounds with the groups that I intended, and so I'm gonna probably stick around the table. If anyone comes to me, sure, I'll talk to them. But other than that,
all right. Then I have some things to come back to for you folk, but it won't happen immediately. So I'm going to continue following Astro, who is pretending to be Xander.
Hey, Xander. All right. Yeah, so I'll look around, scan the room, see if I can find a Grime. Is his full name Grime RK, I think?
Yes, Grime RK.
Yeah.
Grime, having just finished his meal, has a bunch of people at his table who honestly are kind of dressed like he is.
Yeah.
Which is like dressed down. I'll describe him very quickly for you. Grime is an average-sized man wearing a blazer over a plain white t-shirt and jeans. He has a green ball cap on, which he has not taken off. And on that ball cap is a smaller image of a hat. On that image is yet another smaller image of a hat.
Okay,
Is
so that's like
this
a
hat recursion?
nesting egg of hats, sort of.
Yes. The logo on his hat is a hat with a logo of a hat on it.
If you peer close enough, there's yet another logo of a hat.
You don't know if he footed out enough money to get that many recursions of hat. But yeah, he gets up. He has, like, the people who are with him kind of stick with him like they're his entourage. They don't really break off to go to chat to other people. Wherever he is, like, this small group of, like, almost like attendants kind of just follow him around.
Okay, so before I intercept him, I'll stop at the bar and get 2 beers. And then I'll come up and if he's like walking around or at his table, I'll come up to him and say, "You look like you might be thirsty."
Hey, yeah, you know I'm thirsty. Always thirsty. Who are you?
Xander Nova. Pleasure to meet you,
Hey,
Governor.
Yeah, Xander. You know I'm the governor. Good looking out. I like those eyes. Yeah, name's Grime. What can I help you with?
I just really wanted to express my appreciation for hosting this event here.
Yeah,
The facilities
yeah,
are quite wonderful.
I don't get enough credit. You're right. See, he pats one of his lackeys and is like, told you. See, there are people who appreciate me out here. Anyway, what can Grime do for you other than take that beer off your hands? And he reaches out and grabs one of the beers you're holding.
Just wanted to meet and greet. You're the guy to talk to.
Yeah, I am. This committee stuff is it's distracting. But in like a good way. What are those things called? Like hobbies, but like you only do them once.
Yeah, I know the thing.
Hey, you know the thing. Hey, well, you're one of the contestants, huh? What group are you with?
Murder of Crows.
Yeah, I don't know any of the fucking names. What number? What order you come in?
We came in third.
Hey, 3. I like 3. 3. If you're 3, you did pretty good. Hey, oh yeah, you're that group I unleashed all the little panther guys on all at the same time. You handled that pretty good.
That, sir, was a master stroke.
Yeah.
We nearly didn't know how to deal with them, but...
You were having too easy a time. I told the other committee members, we're all on the different screens, but we're all in the same room when that stuff's happening. I turned to the other committee members, I was like, watch this. I'm going to give them the Panthers.
Well, we certainly enjoy a challenge, sir.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. Hey, you did good.
I'll drop my voice to him and say in a sort of familiar but friendly tone, hey, what about that transmission? What's going on there?
He does not lower his voice at all when he responds. Yeah. And he goes, bunch of fucking idiots, what it is. You pay station security and you go, hey, make sure the idiots don't do any idiotic things. And they go, okay, boss. And they don't even do shit. So don't worry, we took care of it.
Wow, that's a relief to hear. So you got the people who did it?
Yeah, fucking got them.
Yeah.
What, do you think I'm the kind of guy who can't get them? I can get them.
Oh, I expected as much, yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Were they on the station?
We got alleyways, you got refuse, you got rats. It's like one comes after the other. It's just a thing.
Gotta clear them out.
The truth is, buddy, I got this whole sector I gotta watch out for. And people go, oh, why isn't this one stupid little planet in your sector, like, perfectly taken care of? And I go, buddy, I got like a whole sector I gotta deal with. And I'm like, the people on the planet should have, whatever, planet, station, same difference here. It's a big shithole anyway.
Yep. You can't keep track of every single little detail. I hear that.
Yeah, this guy knows what I'm talking about. Hey, he pats one of his other lackeys. See, guys, no, this guy, I don't even pay this guy, and he agrees with me.
Well, I just know straight shooter when I see one.
Yeah. And I got a deadly aim, I'll have you know.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it with those Panthers of yours. You got a killer instinct, clearly.
They don't really have guns, they're just fucking, they run at people, but, I'll take the compliment. Okay, you got me, I'll take the compliment.
50% of the time, those Panthers work every time.
So when's our next event happening?
Hey, well, you're in an event. This is a thing to do,
Oh, I know, and I've been working it, trust me. But, when's the next, event involving our mechs?
Oh, right, that kind of event. I think we're gonna let everyone sleep off their hangovers tomorrow,
Yeah?
At least I told the others, hey, I'm gonna have a killer hangover tomorrow, so don't fucking wake me up. So, maybe we'll get in touch with y'all tomorrow night, let you know what's going on. So take a day off after this. Hey, you deserve it. Number 3. Hey, number 3.
Yep, we're gonna party tonight for sure, so we'll need that. I don't suppose, he says in a half-joking tone, I don't suppose you could tell us what to expect from the next one, huh? And he elbows him.
He leans in close, he's like, I could tell you that. But then I'd have to kill you, huh?
He elbows him again.
All of his lackeys start laughing at this.
We wouldn't want that, now would we?
One of the lackeys looks at you, and he raises his eyebrows a little bit, and he's like, he's not kidding. Like he gives you the look that he's like laughing along with everyone else. Is like, no, he meant that one. He meant.
This is quickly turning into a scene from Goodfellas. Am I funny? Funny like a clown? All right, so I'll just say, well, I'll leave you to it then. Good meeting you, Governor. Hope we impress you in the next one.
Good meeting you too. Hey, he points at you again. He's like, I'll remember you. Number 3.
Number 3. Hey, maybe next time, number 2 or number 1.
Hey, I like the way you think. I like onwards and upwards. That's what I always say. I'm the guy who coined that. Onwards and upwards, that's me.
No kidding. I hear that all the time.
That was me. Yep.
Oh, wow. Truly a visionary.
Ooh, you got it.
All right, so I'll just leave him at that.
He like raises his beer to you that you gave him as you are going to leave. It's empty. You didn't see him drinking it, but he was probably drinking it the whole time.
I haven't taken a sip of mine. I'll just say, here you go. Looks like you need a refill.
What a considerate man!
All right, I buttered him up enough. I'll leave him be for now.
Are you happy with the information you were able to get out of him?
Not particularly, but I'm setting the stage. Is what at least Astro's thinking.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Other than that, I think Astro will kind of make an effort to talk to the other judges, but there's not anything in particular he's going to be trying to get out of them. Just making an appearance, making sure he gets some FaceTime in, with each one.
So, while you're off doing that, Dyne, as you're kind of hanging out and as dinner finishes up, the little group of 3 that you saw from before, for some reason missing their 4th member, from Dorf Elbost, come over to the table to meet you, Dyne. Mm-hmm. It's Urist, Edom, and Kullet. Urist is kind of in the lead. He gives you a subtle little wave, letting you know, hey, that arm's fine. Mm-hmm. He goes, hey, mind if I pull up a chair?
Sure, no problem.
Pulls up a chair next to you and waves to his 2 friends to sit down with him. Hey, I wanted to just let you know, we're what you did was a good thing. I thank you.
Oh,
you could have left me like that and it would have made me look like I was weak, so I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. It's, I noticed it and, well, being what I am, decided to help. No thanks necessary, but I appreciate it.
Listen, I insist, it's a matter of honor. He passes over to you, he slides a napkin over to you that has something underneath of it.
Okay.
As you lift it up, there's a little token under it that says CDD on it.
Okay. It's not like UMD version 2, is it?
No. It's literally like a poker chip.
Okay.
But it's not shaped it's just that same size. It's like a token almost. Okay. And it says CDD on it. Mm-hmm. And he goes, listen, it's important to me that I repay people, and I don't have anything to give you right now, but if you ever need Sid to take care of something for you, that token will get you a little closer to getting it done.
I appreciate it. As I kind of slide the napkin and just surreptitiously, pocket the coin.
There's a lot of people out there with Sid that, we make sure that the balance books stay pretty even, or else it gets mad at us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thanks again.
I raise my drink to him as he leaves.
Yeah, he'll get up with his 2 friends, and they head off into the party to actually start mingling now that his arms are better.
CD Sid, is that something we've come across? I can't remember.
CDD is a group that operates in the periphery. The most prominent member that you would have associated with previously is your good old friend Ruination Conditioning. So what you remember about CDD is that was basically the independent hacker collective.
Okay.
CDD, Hacker Collective. They trade in techniques and tips. They're ultimately a bunch of individuals who work together when it suits them.
Fantastic. Okay. I will...
Don't let Ruination Conditioning color your opinion of them.
Okay, I'm just going to make
Astro
a note
has
here.
some, like, loose ties, or at least he's dealt with CDD before in the past.
One thing that's important to note, and you might not have remembered this, but in terms of just state of the galaxy stuff, when fuck, what was their name? Person who runs AO Station.
Ren.
When Ren was telling you guys about like the state of things, they specifically told you like what all the independent groups were up to and said it was oddly hard recently to get CDD to do anything for anyone. Like CDD has become a little bit more insular than it used to be.
Okay.
So this is a big deal.
Well, you don't know. You don't know what to make of this yet.
Okay.
Definitely an asset.
And then simultaneously, Steve, as you are hanging out over by the bar, a couple people approach you. 5 people, actually. They don't look necessarily like they're coming... I'm sorry, not 5 people, 4 people. 4 people approach you. They don't look like they're necessarily coming specifically to talk to you, but they look like they're going to the bar, and you kind of made yourself available to talk. The person in front kind of like stops on his way to the bar to like nod in an acknowledgement to you. He goes, "Hi, nice to meet you. Name's Gray Hopper. I'm a member of Share Seal. I believe you're one of our competitors. It's good to meet you."
You too. I'll admit I'm a little surprised to see you here. I didn't notice you talking to many of the other Lancer groups.
We don't. We'll introduce ourselves to everyone. It's just don't have a lot to talk about. I think you did admirably in the prior competition.
I'd say you did the same.
Thanks. We're just coming to get a few drinks and thought we'd tip our hat to you on the way there.
Well,
you seem a little bit more professional than second place, so we're hoping you overtake them in the standings.
Unfortunately, it's not hard to do. Be a little bit more professional than those guys.
Well, nonetheless.
Yeah, I would like to see them gone as well, though.
They all kind of just like nod at you and they all head to the bar together. They do that thing where they take like the corner of the bar, like the one seat at the edge of the bar that wraps around and then the 3 scenes with it. And they just kind of like keep to themselves over there. They get the bartender to come over. They make like a little bit of small talk with the bartender who starts just serving them drinks and chatting with them. And like this is where they hunker down basically for the remainder of the night.
Right. Well, I don't know if they're within distance to listen, but I'll listen if they say anything. But like, I'm not trying to hide it. It's just like if they're around and talking, then I'm here and listening. You know.
I would say the things you get without like interposing yourself too much are just things like they get a hold of the bartender. The bartender's like, "Oh, what you drinking?" They give their orders. He cracks like a little joke with them. They're not like unpersonable, but they're like a little insular is what you get from them. They like, they return his joke with a smile. You can tell from here looking out your eye that when he brings them their drinks, they slide him money across the table, even though it's an open bar. So they like are sliding him tips as the bartender's like bringing them drinks. The bartender starts paying much more attention to their group than everyone else at the bar.
Interesting. At the end of the night, I will give the bartender a decent tip and say it's from our table, but not like expect anything more from or anything, right? Just
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's all for me.
All right. Who else has some things they need to get done? Any group that anyone wants to go take a chat with, or any person who's at the event that you don't know a lot about but you want to get introduced to? This is the time to do it, because after this, you imagine tomorrow when they announce whatever the next thing is, you're going to be right back into the fray again.
There's nothing particularly that I want to do. I wouldn't mind just kind of hanging around to see if anything happens, but there's nothing particularly I want to do.
Okay.
I kind of want to find out why Opie was called away. I want to see what's the best way of doing that.
Could you talk to what's their face from Uprising, since they were the last person to speak with Opie?
That guy is going to give you 0. He's just going to look down at you the entire time.
Oh,
yeah. The Furious guy.
I realize, but I mean, that's your best bet, I would assume.
Probably can talk to risk another conversation with Ethic, but she may not be at liberty to tell me too much in this setting.
Yeah, you've talked with Ethic. You talked to 2 of the other members of the group of 5. There's the other team members.
Has anyone talked with official lady? I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Lisa?
Losamar?
Yeah.
Losamar. Yeah. No, she's been around, but no one's talked to her.
That might be worth at least following up with.
I'll speak with her.
Not to make you do all the work, Xander, but just thinking who we haven't talked to yet.
Well, and there's another council member, right?
There's 2 more.
Well, not including the one that left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I sort of talked to him, not really, but I was introduced myself before he left. Let me find what's Losamar up to right now.
Losamar seems to be going like to and from places. Like, she talks with a lot of like the contractors, and then also seems to every once in a while you'll see like take a group of contractors to go talk with one of the committee members. It seems like she's basically playing a little bit of secretary here. You notice that not many of the contractors will just walk up. They won't just walk up and talk to the committee members on their own.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it seems like they are going to talk to Losa, and Losa is deciding whether or not to escalate it to go up to one of the committee members.
Right.
So you do see that a lot of the people who are getting chosen to go talk to the committee members are being filtered through Losa.
Yeah. I'll try to approach her. And say,
she smiles when you approach and goes, "Oh, Xander."
Yes, hello. I just wanted to thank you again for organizing and all you've done, and letting us participate in the contest.
Remember my name this time? She looks at you with like a I'm taking the piss out of you smile.
Yeah. Look, I think it's Lena or Linda. It says smiling. Losamar.
She like rolls her eyes and goes, "Thanks." Anyway, yeah, no, thank you for noticing. I put a lot of work into this. I'll tell you, the last day or two has been pretty hectic, what with organizing all of the things going on here.
I can imagine. It's no small task.
Are you finding everything you need here? Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary here that I need to take care of? Is there anyone being neglected that I should take care of? Is there anything I can help you with?
Oh, no. All our needs are being met quite well. I have no complaints.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're having a good time, Astro. Or not Astro, Xander.
What?
Wouldn't it be funny if she knew you were Astro? She has like a poster of you on her wall at home.
She's like, you think you could fool me with that beard and no sunglasses? I know who you are.
It's so hard because in my head, I think of you as Astro when I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
But so she's like, all right, Xander, well, I'm glad you're having a great time. Just let me know if you need anything.
Anything we can do to help. I know we're the guests here and we're participating in the contest, but if there's anything we can do to make things easier, we are happy to provide a lending hand.
Oh, please no. It is my responsibility to make sure that everything here is taken care of and that the guests are able to mingle and associate freely. It is important that all of you be able to move in these kinds of circumstances if you're brought onto Project Rebirth. So I hope you've gotten your name out there. I hope you've gotten to talk with many of the people here so that people can get used to your presence.
And what
it's a good sign you're in the top 3. It means you might get it.
And, well, I'm glad to hear that. What I mean when I say if there's anything we could do to help, perhaps if there's anything we could do to take care of that problem we had earlier today with the oath. Just let me know. We are available as a resource, should you need it.
She looks worried for a bit. Please, no, really, it's something that has been taken care of. It is a problem that is being dealt with by the appropriate people. This is be assured that Project Rebirth has nothing but the best intentions for all of E2705, and once the terraforming project begins, it will be to everyone's benefit.
Oh, there's no need to convince me. Truthfully, I only want to offer our group as a resource should you need it. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
I will keep that noted, and if anything comes up, perhaps we will let you know.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure you're very busy, so I won't detain you any longer. Always a pleasure to talk to you, Losamar.
She looks a little bit more frazzled than when you approached her now, but she smiles nonetheless and goes, "Thank you, Xander. Please, enjoy the rest of the evening."
Already on it.
You watch as you leave this conversation, a man in kind of like fatigues almost, has like a little beret on his head, is wearing kind of like, military issue kind of pants, is over talking to an older member of the group, but who's hard to like place in terms of what's going on with them. They wear a lot of like layered, baggy clothing, almost robe-like, with like a little hood that comes up around part of their head. You notice Doc Grosser, who, what visible pieces of them you can see have been heavily modified. But from their speaking mannerisms earlier, sounds like an older person. And they are stooped. They're kind of like hunched over a little bit and kind of move with a bit of a gait that says they're kind of like carrying a lot with them, right? They're kind of bowed with age, or at least presents as much. You see them having a conversation with this person in this like military attire with like a scimitar like hanging from their side and a little beret on. And you hear their conversation like escalating a little bit between the two. And the person in the military fatigues kind of, in a much more loud voice and almost like announcing more, not just talking to the person they're talking to, because he knows he's like in a position where many of the other committee members are. So it's like you're assuming all the committee members can hear this person. You definitely can. And that's kind of where they all are, right? Because Losa's here. And you see this person in the fatigues and the beret basically says like, yeah, well, I think someone has to say that it's kind of weird that the secondary transmission came in. And I think maybe someone should be on the lookout for some of these other competitors that maybe are not on the level. Now, you can trust me because I'm the one bringing this to you. I wouldn't point this out if I was responsible, but I think you should know that you should be on the lookout for someone. Just letting you know that we're here to let you know.
That's the military guy saying that. Or the guy in the military fatigues.
That's the guy who's in like military fatigues pants and like a little cut off top a little bit. He has like a scimitar hanging at his waist and like a little beret on his head. Right.
So he's not one of the committee members. I've never seen him before as far as
No, you've seen this guy before. This looks like one of the people who's in Alabast.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Interesting.
You see this little old hunched person, Doc Grosser, kind of look up at them. It's hard to hear because you're not like close enough. Like this other person obviously raised their voice to make this point. Doc Grosser says something to them and just like waves them away and then just kind of like walks past them.
Interesting. Doc Grosser.
The guy from Alabast looks a little bit like, I thought I was going to get more of a reaction with that. That's what's on his face right now.
Right. Okay. That's good. Doc Grosser, he represent. Who does they. He they? Who does they represent again? Who do they represent?
They are the representative for Lev Integrated Technologies.
Okay.
From what was explained to you by Ethic, Doc Grosser is kind of in charge of human resources.
Yeah.
Is it very concerned with making sure people have the best tools for the jobs they've been assigned to complete.
Okay. As he walks past the Alabast guy, I'll approach Doc Grosser and I'll say, are you all right? Everything okay? Can I help?
Looks up at you. Astro, do you have anything? Let me look at your sheet real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's something piercing about the eyes. These are canny eyes. These are the eyes that you've seen as like sharks in a few boardrooms before.
Yeah.
Like people that even your prestigious manager, Roxana, has had trouble getting through.
Yeah.
And Doc Grosser looks up at you, and their face is just hard to read because it's very placid. They look up at you and they go, "Oh, no, not at all. You are Xander Nova, yes? Of the Murder of Crows."
That's correct.
It's good to meet you.
Good
Some
to meet you
people
too.
think that small discoveries that we are all perfectly aware of and are handling already entitles them to some sort of fanfare. Don't make that same mistake.
I had already assumed that this situation was well under control and in good hands.
Yes.
It just seemed like he was causing a scene. I wanted to make sure if there's anything I could do for you.
Could you grab my drink for me, please? It's a few tables away. I was just on my way there.
Oh, of course. I'd be happy to.
You go grab their drink, bring it back to them. It's like a little fluted champagne glass. And they take it and they go, "Thank you." They raise it to you like ceremoniously and then take the tiniest of little sips out of the top. Like the water level barely drops in this fluted glass of champagne as they take the tiniest of sips. And they just hold it in a hand that, from all their other mannerisms, you almost assumed their hand would be like shaking as they hold it.
Yeah.
But it is the most still you've ever seen anyone holding a glass before. It's like raised into their side, and their arm looks like it's a statue's arm.
Yeah, interesting.
And they just keep talking to you. He goes, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I figured if I wasn't going to be making my way over there, I would rather enjoy it here while we talked. Tell me, what do you think of contest so far?"
I find it quite invigorating. The challenges it poses for myself and my team, it's something that keeps our wits sharp in more ways than one.
I'm sorry to be so forward. Can I see your hand, please?
Of course. He says a little taken aback, but he holds out his hand.
Doc Grosser, with their other empty hand, kind of like grabs your hand and examines your wrist a little bit. And goes, "This is good work. Expertly installed."
Yes, you are, of course, looking at my implant here.
Yes. Has it given you any trouble?
Rarely. I find it to be an asset.
Oh, that's good. It looks like one of our works. Is it a Lev subjectivity enhancement suite?
It is indeed. Yes.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying one of our products.
Better off Lev than dead.
Yeah, that's their motto.
Actually, their motto is like funnily very like targeted at young folks, where it's like, "Get lit," Lev integrated technologies on billboards and stuff like that.
Hello, fellow young people.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like posters of like skateboarders with like bionic legs, like going over railings and stuff like that. But they just go, "Oh well, I'm glad you're making use of it. It's funny. I don't actually see maybe not even more than half of the people in your profession getting elective implants. I just thought it would be more interest when you're in the life and death profession such as yours, I thought it would be more common, but I find most of our customers are in hard labor jobs normally. Perhaps you can give me some insight. Is there any reason you've determined why other pilots don't regularly get elective implants?
Well, I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself, and it just made sense for me to get. And it's gotten me out of some hairy situations. I spend so much time trying to interface with systems. I figure, why not make myself a part of the system?
Well, I see nothing but positives in your approach. Tell me, Mr. Xander, how long have you had it?
For probably, I'm gonna say a year and a half or so.
Ah, yes, okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to have normal conversations at events like these. I end up always just looking for some sort of common thing to talk about. I'm afraid I've brought you into some product queries for my job. Please, my apologies.
Not at all. I'm happy to enlighten you as best I can. Tell me, do you use any Lev implants yourself?
Their very placid face, just smiles a little bit more and goes, "Oh, it's very kind of you. But no, I believe it's obvious. I've partaken in quite a few enhancements. I find it makes my day-to-day activities much more manageable."
Yeah, I imagine so.
They almost, to make a show of it, their eyes blink the other way this time, sideways.
Have you encountered any resistance to your technologies when you try to market them or introduce them to different demographics?
Yes. I find that sometimes a captive audience is best to explain what's best to them, and as such, we've had a fair amount of success in marketing recently to some of our hard labor professions that are taking part in Project Rebirth. You'd be surprised at when you're able to subsidize them through their job, how much many more people are willing to get replacements done that will aid them with their jobs.
So the laborers working on Project Rebirth, they're augmented to make their job easier.
Well, those of them that agree to it, yes, I want to just make sure people have the best tools they can for the job they've been assigned for. And we make it very clear to them that to stay competitive, it would probably be best for them to make some improvements to themselves that would make them better at their jobs. And we agree to a payment plan that is partially subsidized by the company, and I find that some of them become much more agreeable.
Makes sense. How do you envision the people, once Project Rebirth is complete, how do you envision the first colonist using your technologies?
Well, once we've begun our work on the planet proper, it will take a long time before your average colonist will be able to live there unassisted. But imagine how much easier it would be if we did not have to build gigantic domes on the surface for people to live in, if we could merely modify the lungs of all the colonists who decided to go. It would be infrastructurally much easier.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. You'd save a lot of money.
Yes.
And I dare say make some money, too.
Well, of course. We would make sure to give beneficial rates to any and all who are interested.
Oh, it goes without saying, I'm sure. It's been fascinating speaking with you. Thank you for engaging me in conversation.
And you as well. They reach out their hand to shake your hand.
Yep. I'll shake.
Their hand closes awkwardly around your hand as they go to shake, and it almost feels like they're holding back to not crush your hand.
Yeah.
And then they let go, and they just kind of like nod kind of shakily at you as you leave.
All right. Interesting. Who does that leave in the committee?
I mean, other than Opie Oriart, who left, you've talked to the other ones.
I've talked to all of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Effic, Doc, Nosla, and Grime.
Yep. Okay.
You even talked to Losa.
I did, yes. All right.
All right. Is there anything else the lot of you would like to accomplish before the night comes to a close?
I think that's all Astro is looking to do. Put in good FaceTime with everyone.
Astro's had a lot of
Some
FaceTime.
information.
Yeah, really.
Anything extra I can think of doing feels like extra, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Evelene, you said you were good too?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call the end to the evening. The party is wrapping up. You're not expected to stay the whole time. In fact, you see some of the other teams and some of even the other committee members decide to call an early night. You see Doc Grosser say goodbye to the other committee members and turn in early. Grime looks like he's here to party all night.
Sure.
He is not leaving. But yeah, you eventually find a good time to leave when some of the other groups have already left, and you make your way back to the residence you've been assigned.
All right, great. Once we're all safely back home, we engage our normal security protocols. I'll say,
yeah, but
okay,
we got to put the chip in our stuff, right?
is this something I could put like in a personal like terminal I have and watch, read the data that way?
This is not always, so I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
But this is one that you would be able to plug into in fact, after examining it, Astro, you realize it's not for a normal terminal.
Yeah.
What it is actually for is it's a chip to be plugged into either a communications array or an Omni hook, one of which you have on you.
Okay. I will.
Otherwise, you would have had to take this back to the ship to plug in.
I'll plug it into my Omni hook.
As you plug it into your Omni hook opens up a new connection to what the Omni hook has titled. This is like what the device is named, right? Your Omni hook is reading what it's connected to,
Right.
And what it is connected to is literally named hidden speaker or hidden microphone is
Yeah.
what it's connected to.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And as you connect your Omni hook to this hidden microphone, you start to hear some of the committee members talking to each other.
Ooh,
And
interesting.
this is where we're going to end the session.
Oh,
Very cool.
Oh boy.
interesting. Okay.
That's even more than I expected from Effic. So that's really good.
They're here to help you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, well,
They want you to
very
get
well
this
played.
job.
Although I think that party went pretty well.
Yeah, I
You
think
guys
so.
did pretty
Yeah.
good.
I want to see the rankings afterwards because they got a point system, it right?
Yeah, they do. They do. I'm going to take in everything that happened, and then I'm going to write down in order how I think all the teams did compared to each other, and then I'll let you know next time how the points shuffled out.
And on the way back, I'll be like, "Do you see Alabasta making fool of themselves? I got your back, Astro."
That
I'm
was
not going
your
to lie.
handiwork. Nice.
That is going to tank their score.
Oh, nice.
It made a scene.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't have been so heavy-handed. Let's be real.
Yep.
Anyways.
I'm surprised that I was able to use my doctorial skills.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good play.
Well, when an evil clown paralyzes someone's arms, you're there.
I know.
You're there for that.
Very, very specific scenario, but you got it down.
All right. Well, I don't want to give away too much of what's going to happen next time, so we're going to go ahead and call it there, and then we'll see everyone next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.